Hey, what's up guys, and yes, as you can see, the final episode of What If Naruto Had the Deadliest Bloodline. I just want to say thank you all for staying with me for this long journey, guys. And as you already know, new What Ifs are coming out soon for you guys to enjoy. So just sit back, relax, and yeah, enjoy. And also I post a brand new episode, the final episode of What If Naruto was a scientist who created a virus and infected himself over an anime king too. So go ahead and enjoy that, guys. And yeah, stay tuned for the brand new episode coming over Anime King. If you're new, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, without further ado, would you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, Sasuke came to as he finally woke up. As he woke up to see Sakura there, she was checking over his charts. But she was not happy when she saw him woke up. She was rather angry at him, as she asked him how long did he knew that something was wrong with Naruto. He's known for a while now, as she almost knocked his senses out, but she held herself back. Luckily though, he gave her something that might save all of this, as it was one of the bottle of pills that Orochimaru had gave Naruto that he had taken a long time ago. And with this, now they can study it and probably find a way to help Naruto. So with that, she rushed off, as Karen came in the room and asked Sasuke how he was. That one question got him reflecting a lot. After killing Itachi, he didn't really feel that much different, as he realized that friends, families, that was what he needed all along. Without people, what would he have left? And now his best friend was out there, God knows doing what. And he wasn't there to help him. He needed to recover quickly. Snappy had gotten the bottle of pills, but she still has Shizune working on a way to kill Naruto. If this did not work, they would have to take him down, as he didn't want to become a danger to everyone around him. While that was going on though, Naruto was fighting, as him and Natsu was trading blows. They had decimated the place, caused pure destruction as he brought down 2 mountains, literally bringing them down to rubble. Both men were fighting each other till they got exhausted, as suddenly something happened as both of them were pulling Naruto's mindscape. 2 chakra life forms started to build, but it was taken away, as Naruto saw his mother and father, but something used their chakra to form. A man called himself Samsara, as he was the first wielder of their bloodline, which was a curse. He went on to tell them what happened. Before the Uzumakis and the Senjus were true allies, the Uzumakis were being attacked by the other clans back then, a long time ago, before Hoshirama and Madara reigned, as it was a union between Mito and Hoshirama that caused the bonding between the Uzumakis and Senjus. Before that though, as the Uzumakis have dived into the art of sealing so gruesomely that they had found the way of summoning the dead god itself. After all, they were the one that created the masses, but he had created one of them that was detrimental. It was called the Dead Man Copy Mass. As using it was able to copy someone's personality and brought forward a being of pure destruction and power. mimicking the person's sweet nature and kindness. But he was going into something wrong. It was not copy mass. It was a dead man mass, as it brought forth an entity that was locked away for a long time. Something that was beyond the elemental nation itself. As a thing, relish in killing and causing massive destruction. They tried to seal it away, but the said man that sealed it within himself. He got his daughter infected. But through the years as she had kids and grew up, it never showed until Natsu, when he was able to finally reawaken inside of him. Same for Naruto, as it passed through Kushina and it was reawakened inside Naruto. All this time the dead man mass has been trying to get back its mind that had been sealed away in the ground with Sakura, as he was locked away, trapped with a seal that could keep him from going anywhere. But this was a mistake. While explaining it to Naruto and the others, his sheer link and mindscape allowed the dead man mass to transfer itself to Naruto. Sakura told Natsu that he need to slice Naruto up into pieces and seal him until he bring him towards the land of Uza. Upon arriving there, he must use the 9 locking seals to seal him away in the ground for eternity. But he wasn't even sure that it would work, given that Naruto was a lot stronger than him, and now with the dead man mask taking over. But he gave Natsu his power though. When Natsu emerged, he attacked Naruto right away, as he released every bit of power that he was given, as he turned Naruto into dust, hoping for him to reform so he can seal him away, because their body was like a immortal being. But when Naruto woke up back, by literally pulling its blood from all around a certain area and fusing back into himself, he was not the same. The laughter was so psychotic and twisted. The look on his face, those eyes, it was a dead man mask. It had taken over fully. As Natsu asked what happened to Naruto, the dead man mask told him that he broke him. His mind was already slipping, and knowing that he could not be with that girl, Sakura, as he had got Naruto memories, and after what he showed him what he would do to them if he did not give up, Naruto released. He released himself. The pain, the suffering, it was just too much as he let go, and the dead man mask took over, and with his control, his power brought to the surface as he smiled at Natsu and stepped forward, as he decided to tell him his name, but he promised him once he heard it, he would not live to see anything else. So yeah guys, that's basically that's what I thought you guys can. So yeah, check across the place and check it for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. Natsu had been alive for a long time now. Usually, most ninjas did not get to live past the age of 30 because the way the world was set, always chaos and problem and destruction. So to get live past that age was quite the accomplishment. And Natsu has been alive for a while now, surviving the Second Shinobi War, going through the Third as well. Well, he was a powerful individual, and not to mention he completely gave away his humanity a long time ago, when he started to slaughter the innocents. But throughout his entire years of living, after he fully understand how powerful he was because of his bloodline, he never felt fear like this before. As Natsu had just hit Naruto with everything that he got, every ounce of power in his body he released in that single blast, and now Naruto was able to regenerate himself from nothing but blood. But this was no longer Naruto. The dead man mask had broken him. He didn't know what the dead man mask showed Naruto, but he could already tell that look. His eyes were pitch black. There was not a hint of light in them. His grin split his face, and there was this aura around him. As Natsu could feel his bones trembling from the aura alone. This thing, whatever it wasn't human. No, it was not. I'm afraid my name cannot be said in your normal human tongue. But for now, how about you just call me Naruto? I mean, I did take his body after all. It would be quite the disrespect to erase him completely. So yeah, go ahead, call me Naruto. As Natsu was on one knee, as he looked up towards his creature pretending to be Naruto as much as him and Naruto had fought. He had respect for Naruto because he was just like him, but this thing that was pretending to be him was not. And he had no way of killing it. If Sakura was right, this thing would burn the world. It was a being that loved to cause chaos and destruction. As Natsu put his hand behind him as his blood started to pour out, as it seeped into the ground and moved off. As he looked back up before he got to his 2 feet. So what now? You have his body. You have a feet on this surface of the world. You're free. What do you intend to do? Said Natsu. I don't know, said Naruto. See the world. Visit a few places. Have some fun. Before he started to laugh. Oh, that's not what you really want to ask, oh is it? You want to know what I'll do with this world, now that I'm freed. I'm sure that pathetic piece of crap Sakura told you that I'm a being of mass destruction and chaos. Well, he's right. I'm literally a being of chaos, to cause mass destruction and problem everywhere. And now with this perfect vessel, yes, out of you and Sakura and Naruto, is my perfect vessel. He was able to go through it all, and achieve a stage of my bloodline that neither of you was able to awaken because you two are just pathetic. But him on the other hand, I will keep his name as respect. As much as I hate you filthy, disgusting humans, as much as I want to slaughter you all, out of everyone else here, he gained a bit of my respect for being able to go this far in my bloodline. The rest of you are just pathetic pieces of crap. As he started to walk forward before he paused. As for what I'll do with this world, it's simple. I'm gonna cause as much chaos as possible. Natsu blinked as Naruto was gone. The next thing he knew, the back of his neck was pulled down. But first, a little insight. Natsu screamed as he felt something ripping into his skull. Information being sapped out of it before he was thrown, as his head smashed to a rock pillar. I must say this world is rather entertaining. But you on the other hand, you want to be placed in an eternal dream, because you're suffering too much. Because you're a monster. Pathetic. Natsu picked himself up as he dropped back into a fighting stance. As Naruto laughed. Do you really think you can beat me? You threw everything you had towards me, but yet you failed. What else do you have? As Naruto started to step forward, Natsu did not back down or show any fear, though if he was gonna die, he was gonna die on his own terms. But as he blinked, he felt pain. Unlike any pain that he's ever felt before, as a hand, 2 hands to be exact, ripped into his chest. Natsu screamed as Naruto pulled his hand apart, literally tearing his body in half. As the 2 sides dropped, as Naruto looked down towards them, as he watched the blood start to form in between, trying to pull them together. As Natsu seemed to be gasping to be put back together, but his body was badly damaged, and not to mention he was weak, so it wouldn't be done that easily. As Naruto looked down towards him with a disgusting look. Tainting my line like that. You did not deserve my power. You were nothing but a disappointment. He raised his hand as he was aglow. There was a red glow that seemed to siphon off both half of Natsu. As Natsu was put back together, he screamed. Once it was done, Natsu felt strange. Something was wrong as Naruto picked him up by his throat. I've taken what I've given to you, because you're pathetic, and now, as Naruto sliced his arm off, by just raising his hand as Natsu screamed out, as he saw blood gushing down his body, blood that he could not control. You are nothing but an insignificant, pathetic human, just like the rest of those scums. As he slammed his fist into his stomach, Natsu coughed up blood as Naruto laughed. Yes, Your pain only bring me excitement. As he slammed his fist again. Natsu felt himself blacking out until Naruto gripped his head and squeezed it, calling him to cry out in pain. I did not give you permission to fall asleep. As he started to squeeze until blood started to leak from Natsu's nose, his eyes started to turn red. Not because of any bloodline, but the blood vessels in his head started to pop. As Naruto then dropped him, before he reached and grabbed his throat. You wanted to live in a world of dreams. Let me put you somewhere where you will float for eternity. As Naruto slammed his foot into the earth before twisting. Bye-bye. As he tossed Natsu with such strength and speed that he broke through Earth atmosphere. Natsu's eyes went wide as he was dropped right into the cold, empty darkness of space. He looked down towards the planet. He was thrown so hard. As Natsu felt nothing. There was no air in space. As he could already feel himself dying. He didn't want to die this way. If he was gonna die, he was gonna die in his own terms, if he could die. But this monster has shown that it can even kill him. As he looked back down towards the earth as his eyes were closing, he felt pity for the world. A world that he might have hated, but he lived there once. No more it seems. As he died in the emptiness of space. A few minutes earlier, once Natsu had sent his blood down to the earth. As much as he respected Naruto, he didn't want this thing to use him like a puppet. Naruto and him has went through suffering the same way. So, he had sent for aid. Perhaps the only person in this world that can save Naruto from himself. At Konoha, as Sakura was sitting down. As she was on her bed, she was exhausted, mentally. They hadn't found a way to heal Naruto yet. Suddenly, something shot underneath her door. As Sakura felt a liquid crawling up her leg, as she could feel the wet, sticky liquid. Before she could do anything, it rushed towards her and went in her mouth. She coughed as she started to cough violently until her eyes went wide. The next thing she knew, she was in that empty white space where there was nothing at all. Until someone started to form in front of her. As she saw the mass, her eyes went wide. As she remembered, even though it was a long time ago. You. As she clenched her fists. You're Natsu, she said. What is this? Where's Naruto, she asked. Calm down, child, he said. I'm here to give you a message. Firstly, your friend Naruto has been taken over by something not from this world. I believe you're the only one that can save him now. As much as we didn't get along, I respect him because the both of us has been through the same suffering. And to have him be used like a puppet is something I would never want to happen to myself. So that is why I will give you a gift to find him. Right now, you'll be able to locate another that is in possession of my bloodline. But this person is the one that created it. I doubt there is anyone on this planet that can defeat him. So, you need to find a way to rescue him. What, said Sakura? You're the only one that can do it. There is no one else. If you fail, this entire planet is doomed. But I'm sure I'm dead by now. So you're the world's last hope. But wait, as Sakura saw everything went white before she could say anything. Her eyes snapped open as they were red. As Sakura heard the world around her, everything sounded so too much. As she blinked several times, as she felt this warm sensation. Could it be? It was him. Sakura picked herself up. As she reached for a pen and a paper. She was the only one that can save him. And this time she would not fail. But before that, as she wrote something down. Meanwhile, at the hidden rain, as Nagato was looking through the eyes of Tendo as he watched over his village, something was wrong. His eyes were seeing these ripple effects. that were spreading. He didn't know exactly what it was, but he never felt this sensation before. And he couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from, or what exactly it was. But it felt dark. It felt corrupted. It chilled his bones. That was rather surprising given who he was, as he had never felt fear like this before. This was a different feeling. It felt even worse than fear. Something was wrong. He could tell. He wasn't sure if it was because of his eyes, but something was wrong and he could not sense where it was coming from exactly. As he looked off the podium of where he was standing on, he then saw it. Nothing but darkness upon the horizon. As the Tendo path stepped forward, something was coming towards his village. Something unnatural. As he watched the thing moving towards his village, but out there was nothing but water. Who could it be? Meanwhile, several rain ninjas were at the border. As one of them, the sensors, picked something up. It felt like a normal individual coming towards them. Hey, we have someone coming. From where? The next one asks. From there. The three of them were confused because there was nothing but water over there. So what was he talking about? What the hell are you talking about? How could someone be coming from there? It's pure water. Unless they can run for so long, their chakra would be empty by the time they reach to us. So that's not possible. And coming towards us directly is rather stupid. As the others came flocking down towards him, when they all picked it up as well. Someone was indeed coming, but who the hell was it? It was then that they saw the water that was in front of them start to dry up. No, that wasn't possible. It was a goddamn sea that separated them from the rest of the nations. This area was cut off by a sea. Unless you were coming from the other areas, it was impossible to pass through here because the sea was so large, and there was no one they can run from the hidden stone border on the water running towards the rain. The chakra that they have to maintain would be incredible, and they would surely die of chakra exhaustion by the time they reach. It was then that they saw the water really evaporating, steam rising from it. As they saw the entity, someone was flying right over it. As he moved, the place started to turn dark. The air became thick with a strange sensation. The water started to evaporate into mists, showing the deep ground underneath, shocking the rain ninjas, as they were petrified. Who the hell could do something like this? As the feet landed right in front of them, as he was not wearing his shoes. His bare feet was out. His skin had a dark tint to it. His eyes were completely lifeless. They showed nothing except darkness. His hair was white with a stream of blonde in it, as it went down into his back. He was not wearing a shirt. He was wearing black pants. There were strange black markings over his body, and there was a massive skull in his back, and on his chest was a mask, a strange mask, unknown to them that it was a dead man mask. The entity, whatever it was, walked forward. They did not believe this was a person, as he was able to drive the entire sea. Was that even possible? As he looked towards them, before his eyes went towards the largest skyscraper in the hidden rain. Fetch me the human that possessed the Rinnegan. He will become one of my lackeys to spread chaos all over. A being such as myself will not deal with intolerant people. He will be the one to be sent out on errands. Now go, bring him to me. The ninjas all looked towards him. He couldn't be talking about their lord. I said, fetch me that human immediately. They pulled their kunais as they pointed towards him. We don't know who the hell you are, but you made a big mistake coming here. As Naruto tilted his head. Seems I would have to do this the hard way, he said. As he started to walk forward, one of them flashed through hand sign. Water style water bullet. he shot water bullet from his mouth, only for his neck to be grabbed. The water bullet hitting nothing. The ninjas all backed up when they saw him appear. No. No one is that fast. Snap! As Naruto snapped the man's neck. Do the rest of you want the same fate? Or, perhaps, bow at my feet, and I promise, I won't kill you. He said with a smile. You there. Fetch me that human, the rest of you bow immediately. The ninjas on the other hand though did not listen to him. He raised his hand to the heavens. It seems you insignificant worms don't understand when you're in front of something great. As he brought his hand down, the scream of all the men could be heard. Konan, who was nearby patrolling the village, flew towards where she heard what was going on. The moment Konan came to the scene, she saw several bodies, as all of them were black like crypts. Their skeleton was the only thing remaining. Konan saw the individual standing there. As she lowered herself, she narrowed her eyes. Why did he look so familiar? It was him, the Kyuubi Jinjulki, the whisker marks. He might have looked a bit different, but it was him. You there, bird. As Konan realized he was talking to her, but he was not looking up at her. Fetch me the one that possessed the Rinnegan immediately, before I set this village aflame. As she looked down towards her dead ninjas before she sang several explosive notes down towards him, as that should be able to knock him unconscious as they exploded. When the smoke cleared, he was still standing there unfazed, as he chose to ignore her and walk towards the village. That shook Konan a bit, as he just ignored her. As she shook her head, focusing back on him as she swooped down, as he arrived in front of the gate, as she landed right in front of him. It was a mistake coming here, she said. You will not leave. I do not intend to leave until I get what I want. I'm getting rather sick of you pathetic ninjas talking to me like you are anything, when you should be at my feet, begging me not to slaughter you all. But it seems time has changed and you people don't know when you're in the presence of greatness. But I shall remind the world what greatness truly is, starting with this place, he said, as he started to laugh. Konan watched as the rain ninjas surrounded him. Lady Angel, leave him to us. You don't have to sully your hands with someone like this. As Konan saw them move, no wait, she said. They should have listened, as hellfire seemed to erupt from the ground itself without him even moving, his laughter spreading wild. The ninjas were burned into nothingness. There was not even bones remaining once he was done. As Konan shot several dozen paper bombs towards him, something was wrong. This was not the Kyuubi Jinjulki. He might look like him, but this was not him. As Naruto reached his hand up, before a wave of energy shot out of his palm, her bombs were blown away and Konan was hit. As it hit her right in the left arm, she didn't know what it was, but she heard the bones snapping. Her wings were torn off as the force ripped her clothes badly. As she started to fall from the heavens, as she dropped in an unknown part of the village. As Naruto kept on walking, Ninja swamped his position easily as he simply laughed. Meanwhile, the 6 paths of pain shot out of their spot, quickly making their way as Nagato looked through Tendo's eyes. They all crashed down right at the center of the village where Naruto was. He was fast. Ah, you make it. As Naruto looked at them, I wasn't calling for these puppets. The real one, present yourself. At your knees. Tendo stepped forward. Kyuubi Jinjulki, he said. He was asking. Yes, that is me, said Naruto with a smile. I am the Kyuubi Jinjulki. And I'm here for you to work as my lackey. Remove your puppets and bring yourself forward immediately. Tendo narrowed his eyes. I don't know what has happened to you, but you've made a big mistake coming here, because you will not leave. as Naruto started to laugh. Before he started to walk, the robot path instantly turned his arms into several missiles as he launched them towards Naruto, only for them to explode. As he walked through the explosion like it was nothing. Your toys cannot harm me. Humans like you need to learn your place. You don't know what you're dealing with, yet you jump into the fray. Face off against something beyond your comprehension. You humans always amuse me, he said, as he kept on walking. As Tendo stepped forward and placed his hand directly towards Naruto's face. Almighty. Push, he said, trying to knock him out of the village before he could cause any more damage. As Naruto's head was blown back, but his feet did not leave the ground. The 6 paths of pain were shocked, as Naruto's smile seemed to increase. You are strong, but still, below my standards. Let me show you what is real power. Blew away. Following those simple words, a shockwave of immense power escaped his body. The 6 paths of pain and the village was turned upside down, as the power seemed to obliterate everything around them. It threw, it tossed, it twirled. The whole village was just blown back. The ground. A massive crater formed underneath his feet as the thing spread out wide. The broken Conan, who was making her way towards the scene, was also launched away as she crashed into a building. As she cried out in pain. People were sent sailing as they crashed their heads, hitting metal, and they died. Destruction and chaos all around. It was pure mayhem. The next thing Nagato knew, Naruto appeared in front of him. Pathetic. Nagato paused in complete shock. How did you... As Naruto was standing in his chambers. I expected a warrior, but you're nothing but a crippled worm. I must say you disappoint me. Nagato pulled his hands out of his mechanical walker, before 2 unseen mass of darkness grabbed him. Nagato screamed as his arms were torn out of his socket, as blood gushed from his shoulders. All of that blood came rushing towards Naruto. You disappoint me, worm. I'll just take your eyes. Perhaps I can give it to another lackey. After all, my servants are too weak. I will end up killing them because I'm disappointed. As Naruto grabbed him by the throat before snapping his neck. But he didn't stop there as he ripped his head off his shoulder. As Naruto turned his head as a black mass opened up. It consumed Nagato's head, and it was gone. As Naruto walked towards the platform as he looked over the village. As he started to laugh, the mouth on the mask on his chest started to open up. As it opened up wide until a black ball started to form. Mixed with a strange purple energy, it started to gather larger and larger and larger. As Naruto flew up to the heavens before he dropped it. It was over in a second. Not just the Hidden Rain village, but the entire country surrounding the Rain village. It was erased. Everything was just gone. Perhaps the whole world felt it, as the place shook violently, as Naruto erased everything. When he landed down on the smoking ground, no houses, no people, everything was just gone. As he burst out laughing, enjoying all the death and misery that he brought. The world needed to know who was in charge right now, and that was him, as he smiled wickedly. There was one more person though. After going through Natsu's head, he closed his eyes, before his eyes snapped over towards the west and he vanished into nothingness. Obito, Uchiha felt something off. His last battle with the Kyuubi Jinchuriki wasn't so good, but something felt off though, as he was currently walking down the hallway until his instincts screamed at him to move. He jumped back. The moment he did, the ceiling caved in as something destroyed the area that he was. Ah, a voice said. It seems your reflexes are indeed good. You will be my servant. Now bow, said Naruto. Obito was taken aback. For one thing, he was not wearing his mask, as he was in a secure hideout that no one is supposed to find him in. So this shocked him. Yeah, this shocked him a lot. As Obito stepped back into the darkness, to keep his vision hidden, of his face. I said bow, human! Something was wrong. You look similarly to Naruto Uzumaki, but at the same time you're not. Who are you? Obito said. I am something that your mind is unable to comprehend right now. All you need to know is that you need to bow. Bow and present yourself as a worthy tool for me to use. And I will grant you the eyes of the Rinnegan. What? Said Obito. I've taken them from the fake leader of the Akatsuki, from what I saw through the memories of Natsu. After I end his miserable existence, you killed Natsu? Yes. It was quite enjoyable to kill a worm. And if you don't bow, you will be next. Who are you? Obito said. Answer my question now. As Naruto simply laughed. I already answered it. Something that your pathetic mind cannot comprehend. Something that it will not ever be able to. Your annoyance of not bowing is getting to me. Now bow before I erase you. I don't know who or what you are, but I will never bow to you. Is that so? Said Naruto as he stepped forward. I'm sure that there are other pathetic humans in this world that will come to understand that they're in the presence of a god. So there is no need for you then. He raised his hand as Obito felt danger. He quickly slipped through the wall, and it was a good thing that he did so, as he appeared on top of the surface. As they were in a rocky outcrop, there was not people around for miles upon miles. A secret location, more like a hollowed cave, but it was large. It was a good thing that he indeed ran, because what followed was nothing but disastrous, as the entire underground surface was erased. The upper layer collapsed in on itself because there was nothing underneath to support it anymore. The destruction was severe and massive, as Obito couldn't believe it as he stood there, on top of a small rock pillar. There was no way that the Kyuubi Jinchuriki was this powerful. So he was right, whatever that was, it was not the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. But he wasn't sure what it was. As Naruto emerged out of the crop and dust, levitating, he was flying, as he glanced down towards Obito. Naruto raised his hand as Obito decided to go into his Kamui. He found himself in his dimension, taking a breather. Whatever that thing was, it was dangerous. You think you could escape from me? That voice froze Obito where he stood. You really think you can escape me in this little dimension of yours? As I've said before, human, I'm a being that your mind cannot even comprehend, unable to get a foot in this reality because I was banned. Years that you cannot even comprehend time ago. But now because of this human's body that I now possess, I'm able to stay here, to be here untouched by the rest of those damn, pesky, annoying deities. So, there is no being in this world that can hide from me. There is no power in this world that can harm me. I've already given you a chance to bow, but because of your nonsense, I will now erase you. As Naruto placed his hand on this strange, cube pillar, as everything started to melt, Obito tried to open his Kamui, as Naruto wagged his finger. I'm afraid you're gonna be staying here with me. You won't be leaving. Obito started to fall as the thing underneath him vanished. The man screamed as he started to fall into pitch black darkness. That will be your punishment for defying me. As Naruto looked down towards him, there was no end in it. Because this place without its holding was nothing more than a simple warp in reality that went on endlessly, and there was nothing to support him anymore. As Naruto had made sure of that as he slammed his hand together, changing the place completely. For the rest of your pathetic human life, you will fall. The air shifted as Naruto was back on the elemental nation as his feet touched ground. The moment he did, he felt something. He felt his power. But this was not Samsara. So who was it? As he blinked out of existence. Meanwhile, Sakura had escaped the hidden leaf. As she was able to get out of the village, whatever Natsu gave her, it was like a beacon, as she knew exactly where Naruto was, but it wasn't making any sense. One moment he was over to the west, then she felt a tremor through the earth. The next moment, he was over to the east, as it felt like he was just blinking and disappearing. Now, he was gone. Sakura staggered back when he appeared in front of her, as she fell, dropping right on her butt. As she looked up, Naruto? She said, shocked and surprised that it was him, as she couldn't believe it. She got to her feet to have a smile, until she saw. Who are you? She said, instantly knowing that this was not Naruto. So it's you, said Naruto and he sniffed. But how did you get my power inside of you? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, I see now. Not so. It is originally his. Is this an attempt for you to awaken your Naruto? Who are you? It seems that Natsu did not explain. All you should know is that your Naruto is gone, and I am now here. Perhaps I should take you. You'll be a fine follower to do as I say. But before that, bow. Where is Naruto? She says. She tightened her gloves. And what have you done with him? Oh, he's here. But I have long since broken him. There is nothing left. I refuse to believe that, said Sakura. You refuse? Yes, I refuse. Whoever you are, you cannot break Naruto. He's the strongest, most powerful person I know. Physically and mentally. And whoever you are, whatever you are, you cannot break him. So, get out or off him now, she shouted. As he burst out laughing. Pathetic, insignificant human. As he slapped her across the face, she was sent sailing as she crashed through several trees before she stopped. She was still relatively close to the Fire Nation, so when Sakura got back up, as she filled her fists with chakra, the envoys were alerted, and a signal was sent back to Konoha as well. Several envoys appeared around the area, as it was the scouting team. They saw Sakura on the ground as they saw the person standing above her. As one of the envoys knew Sakura very well, it was none other than Yujiro, seeing that she had worked closely with Snelly. What is going on here? As the envoys appeared, more worm. Be gone, said Naruto as he snapped his finger. The whole area seemed to release this onslaught of power that shredded everything. Luckily, only one of them got caught up as the others were able to move. But they did not move without any damage. Nasty cuts and slashes, even their masks got split. Luckily nothing too vital. As the onslaught of power started to signal back to the leaf. As Kat got back to her feet, she looked toward her subordinate and flashed through a few hand signs, giving him a signal as he rushed back to the village. This must be reported right away. Sakura got to her feet. Give me back Naruto, she said. You foolish, stupid human girl. He's gone and he will never come back. I am in control right now. Sakura rushed forward. I don't believe you, as she threw her fist forward. It slammed into his face, but he did not even budge. Naruto, if you're in there, if you can hear me, fight this. You were never one to give up. Please, fight this. As Naruto smiled, Sakura screamed as he ripped her left arm completely off, before grabbing her by the throat as he tossed her through several trees as she crashed like a rag doll. The rest of the Anvus released a line of jutsus towards them, but their jutsus were repelled towards them with 10 times the force. A few of them got burned to cinders as the attack started to bring forward the ninjas within the hidden leaf. As a report was given back that Sakura was out here, Snatty did not waste any time. Jiraiya luckily was in the village after their last attempt of getting back Naruto, so it didn't take too long as ninjas arrived. "Naruto?" said Jiraiya. "Yes," said Naruto as he turned a smile. Snatty looked over as she saw Sakura, as one of her arms were right at Naruto's feet. She rushed over towards the girl as Sakura winced in pain. "How could you do this?" she said, looking up towards Naruto. "It's not him," said Sakura, as she was in intense pain. As the group looked up, "This is very unyouthful, Naruto. I don't know what is happening with you, but you need to stop immediately," said Guy, as Naruto laughed. "You people seem to not understand. Yes, you may call me Naruto, but I am not the one that you once knew. I am someone that you should be bowing in front of. If you want any indication of what that means." He snapped his finger as some strange hole opened up in reality, shocking everyone. It was then that they saw the display of the hidden rain. An image of Naruto. It was like a video, as he nuked the whole place. Jiraiya's eyes went wide as he remembered the shake, as everyone thought that it was an earthquake. Is that real?" said Kurenai, as she and Kakashi was also on the scene. More ninjas started to arrive as Sasuke arrived. With the help of Karen, he was able to get back to his feet because of her Uzumaki healing ability. As Sasuke heard that Sakura was in trouble, as he arrived on the scene, he still had a few bandages over him. "Naruto, you're..." He paused as he felt the tension in the air. "Who are you?" he said immediately. That was not his friend. "Yes, it seems you understand, human. I remember you. You will be by my side and work for me. The pinkier one over there was too annoying, so I had to remove her." "You did what?" "Do not speak to me that way, underling, or you will regret it. I don't know what the hell happened to you, or what's going on, but you will never hurt Sakura," said Sasuke as he looked to see Sakura. Her arm was missing. Did you do that?" As Naruto simply smiled, Sasuke clenched his fist. "How could you?" he said. "Because I felt like it. The rest will happen to every one of you, if you do not bow immediately. It seems I have not made myself clear." He reached forward towards one of the Anvus, before his hand extended out of nowhere and ripped right to the man's chest as he pulled his hand back. As the heart was still beating, as he bit down on it, eating piece of the heart. "Now do you people understand? Bow or die," he said. As the rest of the Anvus moved in to retaliate to protect their Hokage as his eyes roamed over her. But their bodies were shredded with this unnatural force as Jiraiya and the others had to leap back. Snatty picked up Sakura, she leaped away. As she brought her to a safe distance, the arm got completely shredded, so she could not reattach it. Now all she had to do was stop the bleeding and cauterize the wound. As Sakura moaned in pain as she lay there, her eyes diluted as she focused towards the thing that was pretending to be Naruto. "Please, Naruto, fight." Her voice came out as a whisper, but it floated into his ears. Meanwhile, "Kid, wake up!" a voice yelled. As the voice kept on yelling at him, as Naruto slowly started to awaken, he found himself in the middle of a chaos. The massive nine-tailed fox was tearing apart ghouls and demons, whatever they were, as they were trying to grab Naruto as he was in the center. Kurama was tearing them apart. "Kid, get the hell up," he shouted. As Naruto finally came to, after this entire time, as the dead man mask might have broken him, but his body was still there. His mind was still there as well. Kurama, within the seal, was able to protect it, as the seal had been broken the moment the thing took over him. And he was trying his god-darn best to protect him, as he charged up another Biju bomb and launched it towards the creatures that seemed to be endless. What's going on? What's going on is that you gave up. You made that thing mess with your mind, showing you what you would do. You gave up and now your friends are out there suffering because of you. That girl, she's dying. What? Said Naruto. You said that you would never give up no matter what. Until the end you will fight. But you gave up before the end and now your comrades, your friends, they're all suffering. So fight. Get your feet. These things, whatever they are, they're endless. I believe that you're the only one that can stop it. Don't let this thing control you, said Kurama as he stomped, cracking the ground as several of them fell. Using his nine tails, he bat them away viciously. As Naruto got up, as it all came flushing back to him, the mask, as he had saw everything, he saw himself tearing Sakura apart. He saw himself killing Sasuke. He saw himself burning a leaf. He saw himself losing himself into the bloodlust. And he just wanted all to end. He thought he was gonna die, but it seems that it was not the case. Instead, he was taking over. As Naruto heard the screams outside. Back outside, the ninjas of the hidden leaf were all sprawled out. The Anvus, some of them had died in the process. Jiraiya was currently buried face first into the ground. Luckily, he was still breathing. Guy was dangling from a tree, as he was blood dripping from his mouth. Kakashi was face first as well, as he was not moving either, seeming to be unconscious. Sasuke was at Naruto's feet as Naruto was stepping on his throat at the moment, as he was bad burn marks on his body. As Naruto seemed to laugh, pathetic, he picked Sasuke up by his hair. You humans don't know when to give up, as he tossed him. He then moved as he appeared in front of Tsunade, as he had already disabled the Anvus. He saw several more ninjas coming, before he reached into the earth itself, and it split open as several monstrosities, ghouls, demons, whatever they were made from pitch black darkness, start to rise. Rip them to pieces, he said, as the monsters that seemed insane just rushed forward. The ninjas all get into a ready stance to fight. As Naruto walked towards Tsunade, who was on her feet as she clenched her fist tight, chakra started to glow on as she moved. She slammed it into his chest, right into the mass. As she felt her chakra draining away, he grabbed her by the throat before slamming her body into the earth. As he reached down and touched her right on the diamond, as a pulse of electricity came from his finger and electrocuted her, she screamed in pain as he tossed her to the side. Now, you, he said. With the feelings that he had for you, I figure that you'd be some kind of ace in the hole for them to bring him back. But they won't be any when you're dead. As Sakura was leaning up against a rock, you won't kill me, she said. Oh? And why is that? Naruto, you've hurt me, but I know you. You won't kill me. As she looked directly in his eyes. I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again. I love you. And I would do whatever it takes to save you no matter what. Even if it means giving my own life. She forcefully got to her feet. As he raised his hand, but somehow his hand stopped as she wrapped her one arm around him. I won't abandon you no matter what. Because I love you, she said. Tears falling from her eyes. Even though she was in pain, she still found the strength to get back up and hold on to him. As he was not moving as she looked up, all the monsters in the area froze, as they just stopped moving. Meanwhile, as the dead man mask looked around, what the hell is going on? As he could not understand, where was he, what was happening to him? You tricked me. I thought it all was gonna be over, but yet, you turned against my friends, my loved ones. As Naruto clenched his fists. You're still here, I see. I knew I should have killed that girl from the beginning. There's nothing more left for you. I have shredded every single bond that you have. I have destroyed everything, your image. Even if you go back now, you will be in prison. You have slaughtered thousands. You have killed ninjas in your own village. You've hurt, you maim. You kill kids, man, woman, innocents, and they in rain. Now tell me, do you really want to go back to that? I do. What? You won't hurt them anymore. As the dead man mask laughed. It doesn't matter, you're not strong enough to beat me. That's where you're wrong, said Naruto. You said I was your perfect vessel. This body of mine is a perfect container for you. So all I need to do is take control, and all of this will stop. You think you can outlast me? You pathetic scum. You were raised with nothing and no one. You're just an insignificant worm. Compared to me, you're nothing. You are nothing. Well then, said Naruto. I guess you're right. I was nothing. Nothing at all until I met my friends. People that actually cared about me. Even though I've hurt them so much, I won't allow you to hurt them anymore. As the dead man mask felt the place start to shake. Now, give me back my body! As an invisible force slammed into him. He gritted his teeth in rage. No, he said as he fight. But as Naruto started to scream, the place started to tear apart. As the sensation started to break. You won't have it back. I am in control, not the pathetic human. You cannot make me fall. I am a being beyond your comprehension. You will lose. Fall, human, he said. Not this time, said Naruto, as blood started to leak from his nose and mouth as he fought. The mask on his chest started to slowly crack. This isn't possible. How are you doing this? As Naruto kept on fighting, as the place started to break down, the entire area just started to melt apart. The sky cracked open. The dead man mask screamed as he gripped his skull, as his form shifted into his original form. As Naruto looked up at the black mass of darkness, it shot towards him. As Naruto stood there, this is my body, and I'm in control, he said. The thing screeched. As Naruto's voice seemed to slam right into it with an unnatural force, it exploded. The power filling all around him. Naruto dropped to his knees. Kurama came rushing over to him as he looked down towards him. Did you win? He fixed my body in a way so that it would be his perfect vessel. So all I had to do was retake control and get rid of his sentience, which I have. So now, I'm in control, said Naruto as his body started to break into light. It's time for me to retake control. Back in the real world, Sakura watches Naruto blink his eyes. Start to return back to normal. The darkness started to melt away as it ran down his cheek like dark tears. Naruto, she said. As Naruto started to cry, instantly, real tears flooding his eyes. As he looked towards her arm, Sakura. He reached out as he touched her shoulder. Sakura felt a weird sensation as she watched blood start to appear and muscle tendons. To her utter shock, her arm reformed right there and then, shocking her. As Naruto looked around, all the ghouls and demons vanished. The ninjas breathed a sigh of relief as Naruto looked around at everyone. All the pain and suffering that he caused. No taking control of the dead man power. He understands things that he never understood before. He slapped his hand together as it was a wave of darkness that spread. Snaddy and everyone that he knew dearly and close found themselves in a gathered space. In their mind, to each and every one of them as Naruto stood there in front of them. "What the hell is going on, Brett?" said Snaddy, as what he said was being repeated to the others as well. "I'm sorry," said Naruto. "You should be." "No, what the hell is going on?" "I messed up," said Naruto. "I allowed myself to be taken, thinking that it would solve my problem, but it just brought more pain and suffering. I can't anymore." "What do you mean you can't anymore?" "I cannot be killed." "What?" "Whatever this thing is, as my mind is still trying to comprehend, is full grasp beyond this world. I have taken control of its power, and I am not human anymore. And I cannot be killed. But I can't stay here either." "What do you mean?" she said. "I'm leaving. I've done so much wrong. Even though it wasn't me, it was done by my hands. Innocent people slaughtered. The things I've done. The hidden rain. The senseless violence. I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't." Snaddy stepped forward. "We have the pills. We can. They won't work anymore," said Naruto. "I've done too much. I am different. There's no point in trying anymore. I'm just here to say goodbye. Forever." Snaddy clenched her fist. "I want to thank you for everything that you've done for me. Even in the bleakest moments you thought there was a way to save me. And I really appreciate that. You were the one that made me realize that I actually love Sakura," said Naruto. "And I thank you for that. You're the Hokage now, promising leader of the village. I am sad that I won't be able to see you continue your reign, or even meet your successor. But I just want to say thank you," said Naruto, as he gave her a smile. Snaddy reached forward and she hugged him. "I'm gonna miss you, Brett," she said, knowing if he came back now, things would be bad after all. He incinerated the rain, even though it wasn't done by him. It was his face, his hands, and Naruto could not forgive himself for that. As she's seen this already, and she knew that it would just drive him mad. "Where will you go?" she asked. "I don't know," said Naruto. "But I have to leave." He gave her a kiss on the forehead. "Thank you, Bachan," he said. Back in the real world, the ninjas started to get up. Sasuke, Kakashi, as all of them had seen. An image of Naruto as he spoke to each and every one of them, thanking them for being there for him. The only person that he did not show was Sakura, as he turned towards her. As he gave her a smile. As he looked down. "No. No," she said. "I haven't even said anything yet. You're planning on leaving me once again, aren't you?" "I won't allow it," she said to him. "I can't stay, Sakura. I've done. Take me with you." "What?" said Naruto. "Wherever you're going, whatever you're gonna do, take me with you." As she gripped onto him tightly. "I won't let you go. You have family here. You have a life here. I never knew the outcome of coming with you. I've already left something behind for my parents. There was a chance I would never come back, and I already accepted that. So take me with you. If you really care about me. Please, don't leave me," she said. As Naruto looked towards her, his arms reached out as he wrapped them around her waist. As she felt a warm sensation rushing over her. As she wrapped her arms around him tight. As everyone looked forward as Sasuke moved. But it was already too late as they were gone in a pitch black darkness that seemed to swirl. It went up to the heavens and vanished. As Sasuke stopped, as he looked up to the sky, They're gone, said Jiraiya. Did he speak to you as well? Sasuke asked. Yeah, said Jiraiya. Me too, said Snazzy. They're not coming back. As Kakashi came limping over with his broken arm, looking up in the sky as well. Two of his students just disappeared like that. Despite all the chaos that was caused, he wished them all the best. Time skip. Years later. A few years has passed since the attack from Naruto at the village. A few envoys had fallen in battle. As for the rest of them, they survived that day. Lucky that they did. A lot has changed since those years passed. For one thing, with the destruction of the Hidden Rain, the Hidden Stone, and Kumo was fighting over the land after all. To get more territory like that, it was a given. But the place was not livable. The soil, the ground itself was tainted. So the place was called the Dead Man Land, as no one could live there. It was said that people who stayed there for too long goes crazy. Other than that, the world continued to move and go on. As Sasuke became the first Uchiha Hokage. Yes, the first Uchiha Hokage. There was some hassle along the way though, as Danzo had tried to control Sasuke, but that didn't work out so well for him. And Sasuke had found out about the truth of the massacre. He was angry, he was pissed off. That is why he was Hokage to begin with. He made sure that something like that would never happen again. Time had passed and he had became the first Uchiha Hokage who kept the village stable. There was no more criminal gangs like the Akatsuki that rose up. So for now the world was at peace. There was a little skirmish every now and then, but nothing too dangerous. Snazzy had started to travel the world once again, being the former 5th Hokage, as she gave to Sasuke after a while. She still feel a bit of regret that she wasn't able to help the brat. But she started to travel once again. Jiraiya had picked a successor in his spy network that was now working for Konoha, so he was currently traveling the world with Snazzy. With all of his attempts, she has turned them down, but he'd rather be here with her. As they travel the world, as Shizune had taken over the hospital and started to train top medics, helping in the field. Sasuke had settled down with Karen. They had 2 beautiful kids. In honor of his best friends, they had named him after them. With good luck as well, it was a girl and boy. They were twins, Naruto and Sakura Uchiha. As Sasuke looked over the village, as he stood on his head on the monument, even with time has passed, he still misses friends. As he had hoped some way possible that they would have somehow worked things out, and they would be here with him as well. But he was happy with his life, his beautiful wife and his 2 beautiful kids. Wherever they were, he just hoped that they were happy. As he heard footsteps as he turned to see Karen. You know, it's not fun walking all the way up here. As Sasuke looked towards her. I told you I would be down soon, he said. Why did you come all the way up here? You know that you shouldn't be on your feet all the time. The reason being she was pregnant, as they were expecting child number 3. I'm not so helpless, you know that right? She said to him. I didn't say that you were helpless, said Sasuke. As she walked over towards him and gave him a kiss. As the both of them looked over the village. You think you're doing okay, wherever they are? Karen asked. I hope so, said Sasuke. But I have a feeling that they are, he said. Time skip. Unknown location. A woman was humming to herself as she was currently sitting down on the porch. The door beside her opened as someone rushed out. Hey mom, look what I made! As a child, had pink hair. It was a girl. She had beautiful blue eyes. As she was holding up a flower. It wasn't a normal flower as it was made from paper as she had cut it herself. Mine is better, as a boy rushed out, as he had whitish hair that seemed to be tainted a bit, like orange, blonde, but it was kind of dull. He had blue eyes as well, as he had one of those same flowers in his hand. Which one is better, he said. She took them as she looked them over. I'm afraid I can't pick. Why not, they asked. Because the both of them are so adorable. The boy frowned a bit. Then I'll make a better one and you will pick mine. No, I will make a better one, as the both of them rushed inside. The woman giggled to herself as she turned to see someone walking towards the house. Thick brown gloves on his hands, brown pants, and thick shoes, as he was wearing a grey shirt, a straw hat on his head as he came over. As he removed his gloves, "Hello, honey," he said, as he gave her a kiss. "You're back early," she said. Today was a fast day, he said to her, as she was knitting something, seeming to be something small. "How are you feeling?" he asked. "I'm feeling just alright," she said to him, as he looked towards her tummy. She was pregnant, with triplets. You know, if we keep on going like this, we will have a whole team soon enough, as the man chuckled to himself, as she was very fertile. They had 2 twins already, and now they were having triplets. A big happy family. These 2 were none other than Naruto and Sakura. Where they were definitely not in the elemental nation. After gaining the power set of the dead man copy mask, Naruto learned that there was whole other existence out there. And that is where he took him and Sakura. A world, peaceful and nice. They had traveled for years. Sakura was amazed each time they went to a different world, experiencing new things. They had smartphones in some world, cars, things that was shocking. As Naruto was able to distribute some of his power to Sakura. As the both of them had traveled, they went to elegant places, planets. It was amazing, until they settled down here. A nice place where Naruto was a farmer, as he rather enjoyed his life. He had animals, cows, pigs, everything. Sakura had her own little shop, where she sold all kind of things. They were in a small town, as everyone knew them around here. They've been here for a couple of years now, as they settled down and had a few kids, and life was amazing. They had managed to seal away their power. It was still inside of them, but they had sealed them away. As for Kurama, he was currently on a planet where there was nothing but animals, foxes, as Naruto had brought him somewhere where he could be top dog, a planet full of nothing but animals, no humans. As Kurama had taken control of the planet, being the boss there, as Naruto visited him every now and often when he released a seal on his power, but other than that, he kept his power seal away, being as human as normal. Sometimes Sakura worried about her parents, as she left behind a note for them. It seemed like she was right with her thoughts, she wouldn't be coming back. But she loved Naruto so much and she didn't want to let him go. She hoped they would understand. They always told her once she fell for someone, she will understand what true love was, and they were right. As the both of them shared another kiss, as Naruto smiled. He's never been so happy in his life before. Being with her, their family, it was amazing. The 2 kids rushed out. "Dad, you're here," they said, and his 2 bundle of joys. As Naruto smiled. Yes, he was happy. But guys, the end steps right here. And yeah guys, this is where this comes to a final end. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for sticking with me, thank you for everything. But don't be sad because you know new what ifs are coming up soon for you guys to enjoy. So sit back, relax, and enjoy guys. But for now I'm out, see you guys soon. Peace.